Kathleen Mpulubusi is a volunteer with Edmonton's Bear Claw Beaver Hills House, a local Indigenous-led outreach group that helps people living in Edmonton's encampments. So welcome, Kathleen.
Oh, thank you.
So what did you think when you heard the police chief's comments that encampments need to be taken down?
To a large extent, I partly did agree with Chief McPhee because, the encampments. I mean, this is a very sorry, sad solution that people feel that they have. But at the same time, I was also extremely frustrated with what the chief was saying because it seems like, he just wants to, let's just get these encampments out of the way, out of sight, out of mind. And, and in terms of where people are going to go or what's going to happen to people, in the immediacy is like didn't seem to be a whole lot of kind of compassion for the people living in the camps.
Now, to be fair, the chief did say there needs to be some kind of multi-dimensional approach to this with all kinds of people coming in to do something. He didn't say what that was exactly, but he said there is room in the shelters for people to go. Now, you work with people who live in encampments. Why don't they want to go to these shelters if there is room? Well,
that is one thing, like in talking, and talking to the people in the encampments, and I'm out there a couple of times a week, going around the encampments, and the general consensus I get from people there is that the shelters are not safe. They feel, the camps in themselves, it's not a particularly safe situation, but
right.
They have a lot of frustration with going to the shelters because they also feel the shelters are not safe as well.
How are they not safe?
Well, there's a lot of complaints about people's belongings get stolen. You don't know who is sleeping next to you on the mat. Or, when you're in mats, there's no privacy.
Right.
Also, too, a lot of times, there are couples living in the encampments, and then when they go to shelters, they may end up getting split up. Also, people in the encampments, a lot of them have pets. They have dogs, they have cats, and they're just like all of us. We're all very attached to our animals. So, then, they go into a shelter, what are they going to do? And as well, I think in the encampments, what I've sort of found talking to people is that people do build a community in the encampments. They look out for each other. They share out whatever comes around. So there is a sense of community and some sort of sense of stability so that, it's as I do agree with Chief McPhee that they're not nowhere down here. Like if you're on the streets, you're not really safe at almost any time.
Right.
There's always the fear of assault and robbery, things like that. So it's not ideal.
So if taking down the encampments, isn't the answer, where do we start? And it probably starts a long time before people end up being in the street, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the fact that we have all these encampments is just really a sign of our collective failure as a society to really help our most vulnerable people. And I think, people seeing the encampments, I think, it's uncomfortable. People don't want to be uncomfortable, and it's like I think it's a sign of our collective, guilt that, here in Alberta, we're in one of the richest countries in the world, in one of the richest provinces in Canada, with the province boasting a surplus of $5 billion. And we, people shouldn't have to live this way or feel that this is their option to live.
We've got not enough housing for low-income people. We've got people with mental health issues. We now have a huge opioid epidemic and other addiction issues. And then we have poverty. So all these things combine to feed into this, right? So at the basis of that, I mean, where do we start? And I know you're not an expert in all these different things, but you've seen how people end up there. How do we sort of intercept that, I guess?
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm no expert. I'm just regular citizen, that want to help people and try to do what I can. But just, I think this is almost it's just the collective, accumulation, issues with addictions, the opioid crisis, all of this. I mean, this has been bubbling along for a very long time, and then of course the pandemic, really made the situation worse. So, I do partly agree with, we need a reset somehow. But what I'm frustrated with too, and it seems to come back to, so much of it comes back to our provincial government, that, this is their responsibility as part of their provincial responsibility. This is their, this is their area. And I hear time and time again, talking with people in the city, talking with people that, we also interact with people, other, Boyle Street and other groups out on the street. The volunteers are out there as well. And you keep hearing it's lack of funding. We need, you can't just throw the money at the problem and expect a solution. But at the same time, the funding has been cut so much over this last while with our provincial government. And then I'm frustrated too when they announce, yes, we need to build housing, but we're going to wait till 2025. We need it now. It's not something that we can plan for down the road. It's like the needs are here now. So, so we need to really act now. And it might involve, bringing all the stakeholders together. So the levels of government, all of the different, there's so many different groups and agencies operating, and I think sometimes that's the problem too, because everyone's sort of in their little silos. Mm-hmm. I know they do outreach together and they connect together, but I think there just has to be somehow maybe just sitting down in a room together, getting everybody together, and also the people in the communities, the people that they have a say in this. And, and that's the other thing too. I think people, when they see the encampments, think, they just addicts, mental health, whatever, but they're people. And when when I've been out in the encampments talking to the people, it's people. We talk about everyday things. We talk about our concerns. They have families. They have, they have, concerns, and, so it's talking, it's really looking at, these are our fellow people. We're all in this together.
Yeah. Well, Kathleen, thanks for bringing such a personal perspective to the issue. We appreciate you coming in this morning.
Okay, thank you very much.